With this Blues Guitar Lessons for Beginners video, we'll show you how to play a 12-bar shuffle progression in any key. Along with guitar tabs and practice rhythm tracks, we'll cover it all with the step-by-step approach. Now, in order to play a 12-bar progression in any key, you first have to learn how to make a shuffle rhythm movable. And a lot of people, when they first learn a shuffle rhythm, they learn it with open strings. These are the basic shuffle rhythms. You may have learned one in E, for example, with the 6th string open, or A with the 5th string open, or D with the 4th string open. But as far as the chromatic scale goes, with those three, there are still 9 other shuffle rhythms you can play. But for all those other shuffle rhythms, and in other words, to play in other keys, you have to learn a movable shuffle pattern, and that's a lot more challenging to play. And so we're going to assume you haven't tried a movable shuffle pattern yet, so we'll break it down step by step, and we're going to start by learning it in B. A B shuffle, and how we're going to play that, we're going to play it on the bottom string, first finger on the bottom string, 7th fret, and that's our B root note. Next, we take the 3rd finger, and that's going to go up 2 frets on the next string. So you want to make sure you got clarity. We're going to strum those 2 strings together, and here comes the hard part. Every 4th beat with the pinky finger, the 4th finger, we're going to tap up on that 5th string 2 frets higher. So you got to have some decent posture on this. And what I mean by that, you need to be on top of the situation. You need to have your fretting hand maybe brought out a little bit. That way you get better leverage pressing down on those strings. And if you've never done this before, it's going to be nearly impossible to get that pinky to extend that far. But with practice, eventually your fingers get a little bit stronger, more flexible. But here's what our objective is. We want to learn how to play 1 bar. That's the first step. And 1 bar consists of 2 taps. And here's what I mean. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. So we're tapping down with the pinky finger every 4th beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the objective here, we're going to learn a 12-bar progression in B, and that's how we play 1 bar. The good news, we don't have to switch right away. The first 4 bars of this 12-bar progression will be in B. 4 bars, that would equate to 8 taps with the pinky finger. So let's do 1 bar before we do 4. So let's review 1 bar again. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. And now we're going to attempt 4 consecutive bars. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, tap, tap, 2, tap, tap, 3, tap, tap, 4, tap, tap. And let's do that 1 more time, a little faster this time. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, tap, tap, 2, tap, tap, 3, tap, tap, 4, tap, tap. But where we go next, we're going to go now to bar 5, and this is the first chord shift or transition in the song. We're going to shift to an E blues shuffle, and how we go about that is we just take the 1 and 3 fingers and move them up a string. Remember, up is this way on guitars, so we go to higher sounding strings. So we're just going to shift the shuffle rhythm from the bottom 2 strings to the next 2 strings, the 5th and the 4th strings. The 5th string will be our new bass note, and that's E on that 5th string, 7th fret. And same deal with the shuffle here, just on different strings. And we're going to play 2 bars of E. So that'll be bars 5 and 6 will be in E. So let's rehearse just those 2 bars. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, tap, tap, 2, tap, back for bars 7 and 8 to B. So as a next step, as a final step in this clip, we're going to put together bars 1 through 8, 4 bars of B, 2 bars of E, and then back to E for bars 7 and 8. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. For bar 9, we have another chord change or a shuffle change, and that's going to involve going from B, which we just played for bar 8, to an F sharp shuffle. And how we go about that, we're going to shift again to the 5th string bass note shuffle that we did with E, but 2 frets higher. And what we got to do is from B, we sort of kind of calculate ahead of time how we're going to shift that. You want to keep your 1 and 3 fingers, you want to shift them simultaneously. So it's sort of an over 1 string and up 2 frets deal. Note how the 1 and 3 fingers, you move them up together, and if you get right on that bass note, then that's the shuffle in F sharp. We're only going to do 1 bar of F sharp. That's going to be bar 9. And then for bar 10, we simply shift down 2 frets back to the E shuffle we did previously. So let's put together bars 9 and 10. 1, 2, ready, go. Then we'll add an extra bar of B, or we'll go to B for bar 11. So we have a lot more shifting going on for bars 9 through 12. Let's put together bars 9 through 11. That's F sharp, E, and B, 1 bar each. 1, 2, ready, go. Go into bar 12, which features the turnaround. Typically in 12-bar blues progressions, the turnaround is on bar 12, and it creates a little drama, tension. It's off-center on purpose. It sort of resolves into the next verse. And the turnaround we're going to do for bar 12, I'm going to back it up to bar 11, what we just played for B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for bar 12, we still stay in B. We let go of the pinky, and we do an extra 2 beats there. You want to emphasize those 2 beats as well. You don't want to add one or delete one. You want to keep it solid. So backing it up to bar 11 again, if we connected this to the beginning of bar 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then the turnaround. What that is, it's just a single note riff off the 5th string. So the fretting hand really doesn't leave its position. It remains pretty steady. All we do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, is shift the 1 finger over to the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, going up 1 fret at a time. That would be 7, 8, 9. And then I like to add in dun, 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 an extra 3 notes. So if we back it up to bar 11, let's connect that to bar 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. backing it up even more, let's now connect bars 9 through 12. Again, 1 bar of F sharp, 1 bar of E, 1 bar of B, and then the 12th bar turnaround. And here's how that will sound. 1, 2, ready, go. And we'll do that one more time. It's a little tricky there with literally switching once every bar. So here we go again. 1, 2, ready, go. So what we'll do with the next clip, we're going to review all 12 bars, bars 1 through 12. Quick review, it'll be 4 bars of B, 2 bars of E, back for 2 bars of B, that'll be bars 7 and 8, then bar 9, F sharp, bar 10, E, bar 11, B, and bar 12, the turnaround. Now, usually when you play a turnaround, that indicates to play another verse. So what we're going to do is we're going to put together 2 12-bar progressions, or 2 verses. Verse 1 will end with the turnaround, and verse 2 will end with the ending. And so bars 1 through 11 will be played exactly the same as they were for verse 1. All we have to do is substitute the ending for the turnaround in bar 12. And we'll start with the very last thing we'll do for verse 2, and that is the final strum chord. It's going to be a B7th chord. That's going to be played along the same 7th fret that we're already sort of aligned with, or aligned along with our first finger. And if we back it up a little bit to bar 11, that shuffle rhythm, which is the same as verse 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Same deal we did to begin bar 12 with verse 1, and then we just strum the B7th for the ending. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And if you haven't done this previously, it's going to take a little while to get to that 7th chord, but you actually have 2 beats, implied beats, that give you time to do that. Here's what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's rehearse now. We'll back it up a little bit more. Let's go through bars 9 through 12 of verse 2, and we'll get acclimated to playing that 7th chord ending, connecting it starting from bar 9. In another note, once you get the hang of this, you could throw in a couple taps to indicate those 2 beats. Again, if you're a beginner, you haven't done this a lot, it's going to take you that long just to get to the 7th chord, but here's what I mean by adding in those extra taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So let's apply that. We'll back it up again to bar 9 and put them together. So now what we'll do with the next clip is we'll put together verses 1 and 2. So it's going to be a total of 24 bars we're going to play. Again, verse 1 ends with the turnaround. Verse 2, for bar 12, we substitute the ending for the turnaround. And one more note, we haven't covered this yet since we haven't connected the two, but at the end of verse 1, you got to get back. In fact, I went too quick that time, but you need to get back to that initial B shuffle rhythm pretty quickly. 1, 2, 3. Da, da. So keep in mind you need to get back quickly, and if it's a little too much to get back to that rhythm after playing those 3 notes, you can delete those 3 notes and slow it down. So here's an alternate way to end verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then that gives you time to kick back into beginning verse 2. So you have a couple options on how to end verse 1 with that turnaround. But again, here's what we'll do. We'll go to the next clip now and put it all together, verses 1 and 2. Now once you have this 12-bar progression in B down, the good news is that the progression is also movable. Not only is this a movable shuffle rhythm pattern, but the complete progression we just did, all 12 bars, is movable. All you have to know as far as what key you're in is the name of the bass note we're starting on. So for example, if we wanted to play in A flat, well, B is along the 7th fret. If we go down the chromatic scale, B, B flat, A flat, everything would be played the same. We just have a little bit more of an extension required with the fingers. So again, it may have been challenging to get the B shuffle down, but what you can do that, we give you a bigger, better challenge, and that'll be the next clip where we're going to play this movable 12-bar progression, but this time in A flat along the 4th fret position. Now in theory, this movable progression we just did, you should be able to play it in any of the 12 keys. However, you can't go too high up on the fretboard and have a shuffle rhythm sound decent. It starts to sound a little thin sounding, and it just gets impossible to play higher up the fretboard, especially if you're on an acoustic guitar. In fact, that example we did in B, that's about as high up as you want to go with that particular progression. So that's about 6 or 7 keys off the 6th string that we could play. In order to play all 12 keys comfortably, we need an alternate approach for some of the other keys. And that involves, instead of starting with the bottom two strings, we're going to start with where we shifted initially with the previous shuffle. We're going to start with the 5th string bass note. In this case, it's going to be E flat. And first finger on that 5th string 6th fret, and again playing the 5th and 4th strings together. So there's going to be our starting point. So what we're going to do with this alternate shuffle rhythm is we're going to, for bar 5, we actually shift down to the bottom two strings and down 2 frets. So in the key of E flat, the 4 chord is A flat. So to go to A flat, we do this. We shift down like so. Again, to keep your fretting and setting position, think about or focus on keeping it in position. Your 1 and 3 fingers shift together simultaneously. Down a string, down 2 frets, and a bit more of a stretch here. Bars 5 and 6, and then back to E flat for bars 7 and 8. And then to resolve it for bar 9, again, a different approach here. We shift down. This is technically the 5 chord. So for bar 9, we shift down to the bottom 2 strings to B flat, and 1 bar of that. Then down to A flat for bar 10, and then back to E flat for bars 11, and I started bar 12 as well with that extra 2 count. And then for the turnaround, we go down to the bottom string to A flat, 1, 2, 3. So it's the same sort of format as the previous shuffle, but we're shifting between different pairs of strings here. Let's review bars 9 through 12. We'll do that a couple of times, starting with the B flat shuffle. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. And again, pretty similar with the format to the previous shuffle rhythm. That'll be verse 1. Then when we go into verse 2, bars 1 through 11 will be the same, except when we get to bar 12, we have to substitute the ending for the turnaround. And the ending for this alternate shuffle in E flat, we're going to play an E flat 7th chord, which will be, get it right, on that 11th fret there. And what we want to do is work on combining that with bars 9 through 12 for the ending. So starting with the B flat shuffle, bar 9. Or, you get that top string, it sounds, I think it's a sort of a sweet sounding chord compared to that shuffle rhythm. So if you get it, get some clarity on that, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's worth it. So let's put that together one more time. Bars 9 through 12. And with that, what we'll do in the next clip, we'll do, again, 2 verses, this time in the key of E flat. We'll put it all together. Remember, verse 1 ends with the turnaround, and verse 2 ends with the ending. Just like the previous 12-bar progression off the 6th-string bass note, this shuffle rhythm off the 5th-string bass note is also movable. And technically that's another 12 keys you can play in, but some won't work as well as others. But what we're going to do here is we're going to do another progression off the 5th-string bass note. This time we're going to shift all the way down to the 2nd fret position. And that's going to be a shuffle in B. And you might recall we started this lesson with the shuffle in B. Well, we're going to do another one, but this one's going to have some different voicings, a different arrangement of notes. It'll still harmonize with the key of B, but there's a little variation here that I think you might find interesting. We have the 4 bars of B, so let's assume we do that 4 times. And then when we go down 2 frets, well, you can technically do that because we're going down from the 2nd to the open string. So going from B to E in this case, that would mean going to an open E blues shuffle. So let's do that transition. Let's say this is bar 5. And then for the E shuffle, that'll be bars 5 through 6. And then back to B. So you can combine open shuffles with movable shuffles if they fit into the key. But one thing you might find interesting about this, again, it's about keeping the fretting hand steady in position. When we go from B to E, the first finger doesn't move at all. When you go back to B, well, you're already on a B note. It's just a matter of sort of pivoting the fretting hand. And for bar 9, that'll be an F sharp shuffle. And then the shift to E, again, you don't have to shift everything down because we're including the open string. So the shift from F sharp to E is just a matter of shifting the first finger over. And then again from E to B, the first finger remains in position. And then the turnaround. So that's a little bit of a variation here from what we were doing. Let's put that together, bars 9 through 12 here. And then for the ending, that'll be a B7th chord. Again, I like this particular voicing for all the endings. There's a lot of other 7th chords you could use. Here's another one off the 2nd fret. So with that, we'll put this progression together in the next clip. 24 total bars, 2 verses. This time an alternate approach to playing in the key of B blues. With these 2 movable progressions, you can now practice or play a 12-bar blues shuffle in any of the 12 keys. And for an additional challenge, you can extend these progressions. You're not limited to just playing in 2 verses. Simply add a turnaround to the end of each verse, and you can extend these progressions as many verses as you want.